rise of the Crimean Peninsula, the Ukrainian government warns the Russian military already there to stay put.
Russia has a military base in Sevastopol. As we have agreed, the military base will stay there for another 30 years. The rest of the territory of Crimea should be, and it is, the part of Ukraine.
We're in Spain, where funerals taking place of the flamenco guitarist Paco de Lucía. Plus, the final run-up to the Oscars. Is this the best ever PR move?
Having an audience with a powerful person like the Pope finishes the story in a way that you are compelled to be a part of it. There's no question that Harvey Weinstein engineered the meeting with the Pope.
Find out which films invoke the Pope later. But first, the upper house of the Russian parliament has approved President Putin's request that Russian troops be used in Ukraine. It follows an appeal by the newly installed Prime Minister of Crimea, the Russian majority area of Ukraine, for help to, as he put it, restore calm on the peninsula. Pro-Russian militia have already taken control of a number of key buildings and airports, all of the ousted President Viktor Yanukovych a week ago. The Ukrainian interim government says 6,000 Russian troops have already been deployed to Crimea, although the number can't be verified. Julian Marshall spoke to our correspondent Christian Fraser in the Crimean port of Sevastopol, where Russia's Black Sea Fleet is stationed.
It doesn't feel like a city that is, in inverted commas, being occupied today. It feels more like a city that's been liberated. There's a public holiday feeling out on the streets. People have come out to embrace the Russian colours. There's great nostalgia for past military glories, and every sense that they're very pleased indeed with the events of the past 48 hours. There are frustrations that we can detect here in Sevastopol, at least, with the number of troops that are surrounding key strategic assets in practically every point of this peninsula.
You talk about troops, Christian. Has anybody been able to establish the identity of those armed men?
And we've been very careful, of course, throughout, because there are no insignia on vehicles and no insignia on the uniforms. At some positions, they have said they are aligned with the Black Sea Fleet. Really, Julian, though, it doesn't matter who the soldiers belong to. It only matters that their allegiance is with Russia. And the public mood and spirit that I've just described tells you that the Kremlin will have full power here to do practically what they want.
Christian Fraser is Sevastopol. On Ukraine's new government has been meeting to discuss the crisis in Crimea. Julian Marshall spoke to Pavlo Sheremetyev, the new Ukrainian Minister of Economics, and he told Julian what they'd said.
Well, Ukrainian cabinet decided to appeal to the parties that guaranteed the Ukrainian territorial integrity and security according to the Budapest Treaty when Ukraine gave up their weapons back in 1992.
So signatories to that agreement included the United States, Russia, the United Kingdom. So there will be an appeal, will there, from Ukraine's new government to Russia to what? Keep out of Crimea?
Sure. Russia has a military base in Sevastopol, and what we are asking Russia is just to honor this agreement. As we have agreed, the military base will stay there for another about 30 years, but the rest of the territory of Crimea should be, and it is, the part of Ukraine.
Is your government saying that Russia has already intervened in those parts of Crimea where it is not allowed to be under the terms of that Black Sea Fleet agreement?
Well, we treat the actions of the Russian forces as the ones that were not pre-described by the agreement about the military base in Sevastopol and all the other agreements that we have with Russia. So what we're asking Russia is just to return to the letter and spirit of all the agreements that we have between Ukraine and Russia.
So the new government doesn't have any plans to deploy forces to Crimea?
We are not discussing the use of force, apart of protecting the Ukrainian military facility. No other force will be used. It's not even under consideration. And we also have to understand the spirit which is dominating now in Kiev. 10 days ago, we lost dozens, if not hundreds of lives. We don't want to lose any other life on either side of the conflict. So this is an absolutely predominant position.
But what efforts is your government making to reach out to Russian speakers in Ukraine? And in the light of that, do you think that it was unfortunate to say that
interpretation is slightly different. We return to the original law on the languages, where Ukrainian is the only state language of the whole territory of Ukraine, and the only other language which is mentioned in this law is Russian as well. We lived with this law quite well until 2012, and quite peacefully. The law on regional languages, which was adopted in 2012, also provoked a very serious anger among the ethnic Ukrainians. So we have to balance the situation. The decision of the government is to develop the new draft of the law on languages that will actually do this, and will recognize the Russian as the language of the Russian minority in Ukraine, freely used, no problem.
But to acknowledge that you have to do something with Ukraine's Russian speakers to make them feel a bit more comfortable about continuing to live in Ukraine, that now has a government that looks more towards the West than the previous government, which looked towards Moscow.
We absolutely feel that, and part of the speech that the Prime Minister had today at the cabinet meeting was done in Russian, specifically addressed to the Russian speakers, talking to the Russian-speaking audience in the east of the country and speaking Russian if needed, so this is not a problem at all. And the issue is not at all about the languages. The issue is about human rights. The issue is about democracy. The issue is about getting rid of corruption. These are the central issues. I'm sorry, I'm being told by the Prime Minister, so I have to cut off.
Ukraine's new economics minister talking to Julian Marshall. And since that was recorded, Ukraine's acting president is reported to have called an emergency meeting of security chiefs. Well, European nations have expressed alarm about reports of Russian troop movements in Ukraine. But Anne Applebaum, author of Iron Curtain, The Crushing of Eastern Europe, 1944 to 56, thinks Russia doesn't even need to invade. She spoke to the BBC's Julian Worker.
If Russia wants to destabilize the new Ukrainian government, it has multiple tools with which to do so, some traditional and some unique to them, whether economic or underhanded manipulation of politics. They've done it all before. What seems to be happening now is an attempt to create in Crimea a situation similar to the one you have in Georgia and actually to Moldova, Transnistrian Moldova, which is a kind of frozen conflict. They will simply occupy Crimea. They will argue that it's in defense of Russian separatists, who of course haven't appeared at all in large numbers and don't seem to have anything to do with this latest military invasion. And it will simply remain a problem for the new Ukrainian government, on top of all of its other problems. The country's imminent bankruptcy, and the idea is that it will destabilize the regime.
And a problem that realistically that new government could do very little about.
Realistically, no, they're not going to fight back. I think they understand that shooting at Russia could provoke something much worse. There may be other ways to resolve it down the road, but it's going to be many months, if not years, before they figure out how to detach Crimea or how to create a different autonomous region in Crimea, or really even how to gather world support for Crimea. So it's not something that can be resolved in the next few months while the Ukrainian government has so many other things to do.
You mentioned Transnistria in Moldova. People have been making parallels about events in Georgia a few years ago as well. Do you think they're fair parallels when you talk about self-asserting and Caucasus?
It's very similar. I mean, it's almost as if it were out of the same playbook, offering Russian passports to the locals. The difference here is that it's happening much faster and with much less pretense. In other words, there isn't really a separatist movement in Crimea that had organized itself and was calling for Russian intervention. These guys simply arrived, and they didn't say who they were, and they appeared in unmarked uniforms, very heavily armed. So the fiction is much thinner in Crimea than it